Hello and welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So this is not something you want to watch. Well, too bad, we started, and we're not going to change our schedule. But fortunately for you, depending on where you're watching this, you have suggestions, either on the right or the left of the screen. So pick one. For everyone else...
Also, let's be called Cthulhu.
You know, it's a possibility. For everyone else who actually wants to be here, for any reason, because they like Dungeons and Dragons, because they like us, because they like one of us, because they like all of us, because they like not liking one of us. You never know, but if you're here because you want to watch Dungeons and Dragons, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. And if you want to follow, I think I managed to put an alarm at the bottom of the screen for people who follows. Yay!
Oh shit!
It's really basic. Don't get your hopes up.
Hey, hold on. Yay!
But maybe during the next month we'll get something better. I've been talking with an artist for upgrading the graphics of the entire channel. So maybe, yeah. Cost an arm and a leg. Well, at least a leg. My legs are thicker than the average person. So maybe it's just a leg, but for you it's an arm and a leg. I don't know. But let's hope it gives some result, because I can't afford doing that again for a while.
You get the good stuff, though.
I hope. I haven't been able to verify everything that's on her Twitter page, but if everything there is done by her, then yeah, it could be very nice. Alright. So, now. And yes, there's a little bit of ambiance. If you're wondering where I got that, ambiance mixer! There's information below. Alright, and that's about everything we have to say before we start. Unless one of you want to say something. Lucky word. Beginning of a song. Something not copyrighted, please.
Uh-oh. I don't know, it's not copyrighted. No thanks.
I don't want to lose people. We don't have that many. Alright, so let's get started then. Last episode, our party, still insisting to be called the Time Knights. It's slowly catching on. It's going to take a while, but we're going to get there.
We're never going to do anything else again that has anything to do with time.
Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe you'll have to use the orb again, and you'll be flung so far into the future.
Actually, no, the better insult is that we'll be doing a bunch of space shenanigans. And, just and we'll have to rebrand to the Space Knights, but then we'll have a time shenanigan, and then it's like, son of a...
Yeah.
Space-time nights.
Mm-hmm.
So, as they... continue the... sorry. Something weird with my nose. Alright, last episode, they faced a group of creatures attacking the livestock of a small village. They weren't sure exactly what it was, but a little bit of knowledge about nature allowed them to think that it was either going to be one of two things. One of them was something that Tobiyashi really wanted to see, which was bird ladies. And with Fisher promising to make a trap, it created a whole lot of weird image in Tobiyashi's mind. Images that he was hoping to see, but didn't actually get to see. But with all of those interesting images in his mind, well, at least the party was able to prepare properly this time and significantly lowered the challenge presented to them by those creatures. And so they were able to transform an encounter which was supposed to be slightly hard into a not too hard encounter. Something that they would easily be able to laugh at Tobiyashi for thinking it was going to be bird ladies. Once over.
And Amy unironically starts to think that that maybe people shouldn't fetishize specific species for specific characteristics. But then thinks, nah, and just keeps looking back at the audience.
Then he starts thinking...
Yeah, but dragons are different.
Dragons are okay. It's everything else. Bird lady, cat lady, mouse lady, fox lady... Dragons.
Ravi's a scaly, but thinks furries are weird.
So, once over, the fight revealed something might be hiding under this event. Unfortunately, not all were in favor of further investigating and decided to leave things in the garden's hand and ask them to surveil the surrounding area in case something come up, something new, something different. And that's about where we were as the party had finished their good night's sleep, prepared to leave, and just as they were about to leave, Tobiyashi realized that his pendant was missing. Unfortunately, Tobiyashi today is absent. He's doing a silly thing, you know, he's celebrating his 21st birthday with friends who wants to initiate him to the pleasures of being 21 in the United States. So while he's doing this selfish thing and leaving us alone, we go back to our party as Tobiyashi says, "Wait, wait!" and looks on him and, dude, I lost something. Hold on, guys.
Your dignity?
You never
Sorry.
I know how I would have answered that, but I don't know if you would have answered that.
Man, probably just saying how they really feel about Tobiyashi.
I love Tobiyashi.
I'm not gonna be long. I just lost something, probably inside the bar. I'll be back in a few minutes. An hour at most. I'll be back. And he jumps off and goes running inside the inn and starts. Well, you're not sure what he starts doing unless you're following him.
I'll follow him. Help look for it.
All right. So.
No need to further expose myself to more people that want to try and lick me.
Ah, but it's the morning. There's not going to be a whole lot of people. Besides,
Sure.
the horse is looking at you funny.
The horse is different.
Okay, so now we know that Fisher doesn't have a problem with horse. Remy doesn't have a problem with dragons. There's
Hold
a
on.
picture
Very
being formed
difference
here.
between being fine being bothered by an animal because it's an animal, and he could track
Oh,
things.
okay. Apparently, we're laughing at different things.
So, Georg, you follow Tobiyashi. Is that it?
Yeah.
Anyone else follows Tobiyashi?
Cool. He's got a lot of support in this group.
The love. It just overflows.
Actually, wait, no, hold on. I think Remy could have fun with this. He does follow. He's gonna try and see if he can find it first.
Yeah.
All right. What are... Let's see, is D&D Beyond working right today? Apparently, yes. Okay. Really? You just have a... What the... Okay. So. Takes a moment.
Is that ominous?
No, it's because I can't figure out why his passive perception is at... his passive investigation is at 16. I can only count +4. It's D&D Beyond counting, so it should be fine, but...
Oh, does he have, he doesn't have observant, does he?
That's per perception, not investigation.
Well, no,
passive
it
for
adds,
both.
it also, observant also adds to your passive investigation.
Okay, well in that case might be it.
I don't know what feats he has, so.
No, I'm pretty sure he has observant. He stated before that he was reading lips, so it's the only feat that allows that. That's easy enough to find. Martial arts.
He does have observant.
Okay, I'm gonna
It's
trust you on this. All right, so. Goes inside with Jorg and Remy following him, and he starts looking at people. Looking under the table where there are a few people sitting. He doesn't seem to be paying any attention to the normal place where you would look for a pendant, behind a chair where you sat, or when you were coming down the stairs, or in his own room. He's focusing on people.
Vicious little.
He's looking at the bartender. He's looking at the 2 or 3 patrons that are in the room. Look a little bit of adventurers, probably people going to a large city on less than half a day away. Maybe 1 or 2 people living in the village itself, being there just to have a place to meet up in the morning. So, what do you do?
I'll ask him, where'd you sit? Why don't you check there?
It's not gonna be there. Just trust me on that. It's not gonna be there.
Why?
It's just a thing. It's just a thing that it does. It happens, you know. Sometimes it just disappears and it reappears. You know, it's just because it's from a god. I bought it when we were talking to that the weird merchant.
That's
It has the face of a bit similar to a gnome. It's smiling, made out of metal. It likes playing tricks. Sometimes it just gets me in trouble, but sometimes gives something. You know, I got salt once because of it.
oh, that's weird. So, and kind of inconvenient that it would be on someone now. Do they know they have it?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't think they do.
You know what? I mean, if Raimi if Tobiyashi really and truly believes that it's on a person, then this might be the one time it's totally justified for the rogue to just start going through people's stuff.
I don't normally do this. That's not why I'm so good at it. This is definitely just a one-time thing.
You see a big smile appearing on Remy's face. Well, as smiley as a crow beak can get.
You're already pretty smiley.
It's like his mouth is already stretched pretty wide, all things considered.
But yeah, it's usually on people. You know, could be on something interesting. You know, something else. You know, it did say that it could appear on important things. You know, maybe on side of a drawer that there might be something interesting in. Things like that.
Oh.
Amy's air quotes smile just gets wider.
I don't know why, I'm just picturing the Grinch smiling now.
Well, unless someone stops him, Raimi's mage hand just gets busy.
Oh, Tobiyashi's not gonna stop you. He's really busy trying to figure out where it is. He's mostly focusing on people, but he is trying to look at things like barrels and maybe just the door that's over there behind the innkeeper, going in the room behind, just in case there's something.
Can I roll an investigation?
Sure.
And also use my dog as a help action. I'll beam an image of it to his head.
Okay. Well, in that case, you can make your investigation with advantage, or roll for you and for your dog.
Ooh, I got a 7.
And that's with the dog.
Yep. That was the good roll. And then was a 4.
You see him start sniffing around, and then suddenly he veers off, and then starts looking for... You're not sure. You think it's jerky?
I'll help.
On the floor?
Look.
But it's a bit big, you know.
Ew. I guess I'm distracted.
Alright, I already rolled for Tobiyashi. So, Remy, how are you doing this?
Alright, so I figured my strategy here is just to cover as many bases as possible. In terms of the floor, Raimi is going to out and
Okay.
after getting a bit of a sniff off of Tobiyashi, is going to start actually searching the floor, just in case. Basically just sniffing out anything that might smell like Tobiyashi that's not Tobiyashi himself. Whereas Raimi is just gonna go rifling through other people's pockets and things until he finds something interesting. I mean, until he finds the pendant that they're
Okay.
all searching for.
Okay, you said
That's something interesting.
you said sniff. I heard something else. I heard your cat was gonna go get a stiff off of Tobiyashi.
Yes.
What?
That is also what I heard.
Oh, I didn't. Well, I mean, like, that's a different character. Incidentally, that character looks a lot like, but let's not go into that.
Okay.
But,
So, make a roll for. You gotta pick something. Are you looking around into things or on people? You gotta pick something.
well, no, I'm saying, like, that Raimi is looking on people for right now,
Okay.
whereas is looking more around the area on the floor.
Okay.
Again, just, like, sniffing around for something. So it's two different activities from two different individuals,
Okay.
essentially.
So, looking on people. Well, I'd have to say it's investigation. It's if you want to take something off of this person, that it's sleight of hand.
I mean, there's like no reason why I can't do both, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I think this is a situation where like I'm not using it for much, so I'll use a charge of my lamp to give myself advantage on the investigation.
Oh, yeah, she has no chance of finding this verse.
Let's see. Let's see. So, Raimi investigating is going to be 24, and the familiar sniffing around. That's a pretty good roll, things considered. Is going to be 19.
All right. So, the way that everything unfolds. After just a few minutes, Jorg finds himself looking at stuff that fell on the floor from tables.
But hey, it smells good.
Yeah. One of them even feels like it's been spiced a little. It's looked like a very old piece of meat. And
Ew.
since it's close to where the hearth is in the inn, it dried up before growing mold, so it's sort of like a jerky piece, not just a strip. I mean, when you look at it, you feel the excitement of your dog when he finds it. And he goes there and you get his own reaction toward this incredibly smelling thing, and oh wow. And when you arrive in front of it, you have this dual reaction of you looking at this on the floor and going, oh. Oof. Then watching your dog lick it and start chewing on it, and
Say, no.
you have this initial moment of no, oh god, and then you start feeling what your dog is feeling while he's chewing this, and the confusion that he's feeling when you say no. But okay, it's a bit of an odd mix in your mouth. There's your mind that says, gross, I should vomit. But the sensation of your dog says, it's just a few days old. What's the problem? It's not bad. There's good spices.
Maybe you have a point.
It's a bit chewy in the middle.
Oh,
Why can't I finish it?
you might get sick. Don't trust eat meat off the ground, because it is cooked, and dogs do scavenge for food quite a bit. So I mean, maybe it's not that bad.
You hear him cry a little bit, and then as the piece fall on the ground. He looks disappointed.
Good dog. I'll go buy him a piece of meat. The cheapest they've got, but at least it's fresh.
Well, fresher.
Fresher, yeah.
Yeah, sure. There is
something they don't generally serve to people. If they've got any extra meat scraps.
Yeah, because something that they don't give to people is usually so much better than what you just said no to your dog. Yeah, sure. He can sell you a small piece of meat for 5 copper. It's freshly cut, something that little bit of a extra that his wife had cut out while preparing something to be cooking while everyone was going to pray at the temple, and so a little bit of meat that's mostly fresh. She gives him a good pat on the head, scratches behind his ear, and then you feel that sensation of maybe I shouldn't stay in my dog too long. So, you have this very interesting and new platter of sensation. For Tobiyashi, I'm going in orders of roles. So Tobiyashi's the next one on the list. Well, he looks slightly disappointed as he's looking everywhere and you just can't seem to find it. But Remy, you do notice that he seems to be a bit squeamish about looking too close at people. He's just giving them a once over and then going to the next person and then trying to see in the back. He's not actually putting effort into it. He's not trying to be stealthy and actually going in the back room. So you get to feel, okay, well, that's why you're failing. It's not honest. You really gotta put some intention in that. You need to want to succeed.
Like, if you're gonna do something, you gotta go balls deep,
Exactly. And technically, Tobiyashi has 3. One of them is made out of metal. So it takes a little while, but you do notice that he's afraid of looking too close to people. You, however, the next one, Les, is your cat, who is, doing a bit of the fancy thing of looking around and then noticing Jorg's dog and keep on watching. You get this sensation of dogs. They'll lick just about anything. And then keep on going, and it's easier for a cat to move between people without drawing too much attention. And because of that, you have this moment of, a little glimmer that appears around the waist of one person that looks like an adventurer. Then you get a message in your mind, and I think I found something. Smells a bit like your friend. But I keep forgetting. She? Your cat?
Because it's modeled after the friend, he.
Okay. He just lets you know that he think he found something there, and he just keeps on going, and he takes advantage of Jor going close to the counter and receiving a little bit of meat to sneak around, go in the back, see what the wife is doing. Other than a few interesting things, you are being made aware that there might be a hole in the barrel. It's a small barrel holding milk. Gets a few lick. And then dried fish.
There's animals searching a bar is not very handy all the time.
Well, at least your cat is... He thinks about you. And he says, maybe you should cut off your perception for a minute.
I'm gonna be busy.
When it comes back, you have this slight old fishy aftertaste mixed with a little bit of milk. And comes out of the back store and no, nothing interesting. But following the instinct of your feline companion, your attention is drawn on that person who seems very advanced in his drunken state. He did not wait until the day was... Well, he did not even wait until noon. So
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
5 a.m. somewhere. And
Oh, maybe he took that. Maybe he took that expression in that exact way. Just like, oh, finally, it's 5 a.m.
yeah, world is round, right? So it's 5 a.m. somewhere. Isn't that the time where tavern ends in cities? Yeah. Last call. But for your very expert looking around, you notice a whole lot of things. You notice 2 silver who have just fallen on the floor. You know, no one seems to be seeing them. They're just behind one desk. You notice the innkeeper is not paying too much attention to his purse right now, but it looks a little thin. But you notice one adventurer, however, is paying attention to everything that's happening in the room. Just looking at everything and taking it in and paying a bit of attention to Jorg with a little bit of a smile when he sees them reacting to what his dog is doing. Tobiashi looks at you, moving about, and he starts paying more attention to you as you're investigating everything in here.
Is this the same adventurer that's like, huh, smells like Tobiashi, or completely unrelated individual?
No, it's one of those who usually is trying to stay out of the way. Probably someone who is used to traveling alone, not drawing attention. You get this vibe of someone who is used to disappearing in crowds and in nature.
Now it's like, I will ask, how closely is Tobiashi wandering around this particular individual?
Tobiyashi is all over the place. He looks like someone who wants to get close to someone to investigate him, but then opt to not go there, you know, just because it might get weird. And so he goes away, but he looks fidgety and sort of realizing that it's not giving any result, and that might be because he's limiting himself too much. So he's being Tobiyashi.
Right. In which case, just as a fun, like if at any point, like Tobiyashi just suddenly like finds himself wandering back in that direction, it's like Raimi's just going to casually, not casually, try to trip him to see if he can fall into the adventure.
You can wait for the perfect moment. Candace, he's just looking in his direction, trying to look behind him, and then you get, alright, if I just give a small nudge behind his knee right now, he's gonna fall and nearly on the guy.
He does it with Mage Hand. just whistles in one direction and
then... I'd go with your spell DC versus his dexterity, because you're giving a small punch and he's a monk. He's entitled to reacting to something hitting the back of his knees.
in which case that would be a DC 14.
You see him react to his knees going down and nearly fall on the guy, but sorry, I really didn't mean that. I don't know what happened. His roll was 14. So.
Oh wait, no. This is totally a great way to burn spell slots. I'm gonna silvery barbs it so that he makes a reroll. This is a great use of spell slots, guys.
All right. Well, you see what happens, Tobiyashi, when you're not there? Stuff happens. Well, it's 12 now. So just as he...
I always like to think that, like, with silvery barbs, just like something random happens to like make it worse than it normally would be. I like to think that he like maybe stepped his foot on a tack by accident before falling over.
It could be something like that, or just simply, a little bright flash right before he's... Oh, okay, and... Oh, but because he's already falling... He falls on the lap of that person. Person looks slightly surprised. Helps him up. Looks at Tobiyashi. Just says, right. Look inside the room. What's your passive stealth?
Mine?
Yeah, what would be your passive stealth?
20.
The guy seems to be suspicious that something happened, but his gaze does not focus on you specifically. But too much is happening right now, so he feels like you see him start looking on himself, doing a few pouches. After a few moments, he seems to be confident that nothing's missing and goes back to finishing a little mug of something that he had. But right after he finishes it, he gets up and he leaves, giving one last time a look inside the room, looking at those 3 people running around, looking at things. One of them doing a very, very subtle job. One doing a more visible job. And one not doing the job. Meanwhile, inside where the cart is stored, Orenek looks at you, audience. It's new. Don't remember them doing this before.
What's new? Audience had been busy cleaning his after everyone left. He was like, well, there's nothing to do. I thought we were leaving, so he had been polishing his weapons.
Yeah.
Thinking that they'd only be a couple minutes.
Well, with all of these rolls, they've probably been gone for at least 20 minutes now.
So I've just been cleaning his weapons like, yeah, what's up, Okonak?
Have they been doing this for a long while now? Just leaving like this?
No, I guess it's been like 20 minutes. No, I mean, I thought they'd be back already. I wonder what they're up to. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go check on them.
That's
Audience
maybe a
will
good
kind
idea.
of... Audience will kind of sigh, like, did I miss out on some time portal again or something? What's going on in here? He just kind of gets out of the cart, shoots his weapons, goes to go find the group. Thought we were leaving for the capital.
Orenek goes to you, Fisher, to the... So, how's your bark doing?
I don't really have bark for the most part, because it's
Picky. How's your wood doing? I just thought it was a little bit less awkward saying bark.
oh, pretty good. Got some, I guess when we're. Yeah, I haven't really messed around with it since that one wizard, pulled me apart and put me back together, but been working fine, so what about you? You got any problems?
I got a new knot. Right there.
Is that uncomfortable?
It changes every time you resummon me.
Is it like the same thing but always in a different spot?
No, it really depends on the shape itself. Knot feels like probably an injury, but I've been resummoned since last combat, so it should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit stiff.
Yeah, sorry we forget about you sometimes. It's nothing personal. It's just there's a lot of stuff going on, almost always. And when we do run into trouble and you're not there, we definitely notice it and regret having not summoned you.
So is that persuasion or deception you're trying to do?
I'd say persuasion. That seems about right. Normally,
If it were audience, it'd be deception, but
yeah. When we get into combat, we're like, wait, we forgot to... Damn it.
Okay. Oh, well, let's,
Got to get my dice out.
yeah.
9.
I see you, still have the same speech pattern as always. You're a bit hard to read from time to time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the lack of any or near imperceptible, facial expressions really throw people off a lot.
Well, you're a bit stoned face. Sorry, it's a squirrel that told me to say this.
Is pretty good. It was pretty good. It would be funnier if it was entirely accurate, but I don't actually have any stone on my face. But it was a good one. You should.
I'm not sure.
Squirrel.
I'm not sure a squirrel knows the difference between metal and stone.
Fair enough. I haven't talked to many squirrels, so I wouldn't know.
They're a pest.
Oh yeah, do they try and nest on you?
If I stay here too long, they try. Some of them have even tried to dig out nuts like this. Dig in, put some nuts in. I mean,
Yeah,
it's annoying.
I don't have that problem with animals, but sometimes if I'm resting in like a town or something and not, haven't actually got a room because other than privacy, I don't really need one.
Well, the worst are large birds. Small.
I'll get kids that come up to me and just kind of if I move, they get freaked out and run away. But if I'm just doing my sentry rest, not moving, they get kind of annoyingly curious.
Well, at least when you surprise them, they don't poop on you before they run.
Fair enough.
Think about that.
I had
next
a
time.
kid. I had a kid pee himself once though. That was funny. But then his parent yelled at me, so
They can be very defensive about this.
You can't win them all.
No, definitely. A good lesson. One day, you might lose one. Think about it. Next time you're in a fight, I can come back. You can't.
Is that like a blanket consent to kind of throw you under the bus if need be? Or is that just more of like a warning?
It was meant more as if you have to choose, remember to take the acorn and then orb out.
Mm-hmm.
Also remember that in an emergency, I can be used as a flotation device.
I'm not saying you should always leave me behind, It hurts to be killed.
But it doesn't hurt to get unsummoned. So if
No, it's
shit hits
just
the
like
fan,
becoming stiff.
just pluck the acorn and dip, and then we're good.
And now it's easy to see. You can always see it. And he points toward the handkerchief of murderous intention. The acorn is always at the center of it. You just have to yank it out.
Just gotta look where
where it
the
feels
notion
like
is
someone
coming
wants to
from.
kill you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels just like home. There's some pretty large creature where I live.
Actually, if you don't mind, when we get to the capital, could I borrow that?
The handkerchief?
Yeah. I feel like it would help with the toffee thing.
Well, as long as you promise to give it back when you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. That, I'm, as surprising as it is, I'm not actually very good at intimidating people on purpose.
Okay.
So, having the murderous intention out there might help to dissuade some of the very large amount of people that are probably gonna want to lick me.
Yeah, because parents are gonna react so well with something looking at their kid and them feeling like it wants to kill it.
Yeah, well, maybe their protective instincts will kick in and they'll
Maybe
stop
not use
their
that
kids.
word when you're inside of the city.
Yeah. I won't kill any kids
All right. Well,
unless the kid's a dick.
right. I think you're
Then still probably not.
You feel still a little bit confused about how parents react when they have kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Does your kind have kids?
That's an interesting question. I have acorns.
Yeah. Fair enough. Because yeah, definitely the kids thing has been weird. I feel like I haven't developed a good enough protective instinct. You know, with how many times Terry's almost died.
Well, all I can say is last time you thought about leaving him on the ground before attacking creatures.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, probably helped.
Oh, it's
I
improvement.
mean, that fight was pretty easy, so it probably wouldn't have mattered, but...
You never know.
You know.
You never know when someone enters a fight. Something bad might happen. Might be an illusion.
Better safe than sorry is supposed to be something.
You know, we were. It's something that I have to think about. So maybe you should. We were fighting outside in the rain. Lightning. I have to think about it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if lightning is going to be a problem. I mean, yeah, I am a big metal guy with a large metal sword. Actually, I don't know if this thing's how conductive it is. Because it's like kind of see-through. I think it's like glass, but it's probably some kind of metal.
There's an easy way to test it. Just
no thanks.
open it up, raise it in the air, and ask Jorg to cast a spell. I think he can.
As fun as that would be for the rest of you, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Although I could.
Yeah.
No, that'd be a waste of way too many spells.
Okay.
I could like use it, but it'd be very inconvenient.
Not cryptid at all. I feel like I know exactly what you're talking about. And while you start explaining to Arunak what you actually meant, audience, you enter this inn just as you see someone getting up and leaving. You see Jorg completely distracted, reacting as if someone was petting him, but you see that his dog is being pet. Tobiyashi that looks a little confused and as if something happened that he wasn't exactly sure of, but he's being more awkward than usual. And then Remy having a satisfied look on his face while subtly making its way toward this drunk person.
No, I'm just gonna be like, so guys, are we leaving? Capital to get to. It's been 20 minutes.
With this, Remy, if you want to actually feel the drunk man to see if he has dependent on him, You will have to make a sleight of hand.
Okie dokie. That's only going to be an 18.
Okay. Okay.
I know I said only, but...
I wish I could pan my camera low enough that you can actually see what's on the dice without thinking that, oh well, it's might be improvising, but I don't know if you can see what I rolled.
Oh, absolutely not.
I rolled 17. Because audience talked, the attention of the drunk man sort of woke up for a moment, and he started looking around and paying attention, but he rolled this 17 while you rolled an 18. So you actually find a way to make it work as he's paying attention to audience and looking around and audience again. You have this moment of, oh, my chance. And then he looks in your direction and you manage to hide it just in time when he's looking at you. And what are you looking at? You see he wants to say bird, but he's not sure if he should. Never mind.
Raimi, anticipating the word, just suddenly gives off an aura.
Of murderous intention. You hear him mumble to himself. Now they start serving birds. Should close the door. But he's just mumbling back to himself. Just as your attention goes back to audience, and you maybe want to answer audience, you hear him say, just like those flying peaks. There's a problem with birds in here.
Or he said flying peaks.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Raimi just pauses, thinks about their current situation, looks to audience, sighs, and then turns back to the drunkard and repeats in the man's own voice, flying peaks.
He looks at you and just goes, talked. That bird belong to anyone? It talked. Can you talk? And he's
From
looking
this day
at...
forward, your name shall be Raimi.
Oh. I don't know what to say to that.
Raimi just turns his head over to audience pleadingly.
He can only repeat what like things he's heard.
Oh, I thought he was saying that I should introduce myself as Remy to birds.
No, what is your name, good sir?
I feel like I knew it.
You feel like you knew your name? Or do you not know your name?
Of course I know my name. I've had that name since I was born.
Okay, what is that name?
Sorry. Oh, that tastes awful. Oh. Hold up. It's almost there. Carl, my mouth just don't want to say it. Here, do you have something to write?
I'm sure Remy does.
Right, the talking bird.
Remy, do you have anything to write with? I just assume you do.
Remy just sighs, but he does produce scroll paper and quill.
Okay.
Almost anticipating how this is going to turn out.
He writes. Well, yeah, audience will be able to read it. I don't have to write on the the Discord. You think he wrote Crown? But it sounds a bit like other names that human have, like Carl and Carl. So, might be one of those three. You're muted.
I will go, is your name Kron? See if he responds to that name.
I feel like I've heard it before, but it's been a while.
Okay, let's move on past your name for a moment. I'm going to call you Kron. What did you mean by the peaks? Because I guess that's what Remy wanted to know about.
Well, yeah. I was sitting outside a few days ago. I was supposed to watch a bunch of goats. It was really boring, so I brought with me a little bit of homemade ale. And it was good. It was really good. My sister-in-law makes it. It's really good.
Alright, I'm glad. Ale's good. Love ale. Continue.
So I was getting bored of watching the goat. And then I look up. And I swear I saw a cloud touch a peak. And then I looked down. I took a swig. And then when I looked again, the cloud was not touching the peak.
Like it was past it, or it was... Because clouds do move.
Yeah, that's true. They tend to do that. But they tend to move from side to side, not up and down. I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, that is interesting. Do you know what peak it was?
It wasn't a peak. that you can see outside.
It wasn't. Where was this peak then?
No, it was. You have to listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
It was one of the peak, and it was outside.
All right.
And at night you can see birds flying.
Okay.
Well, I didn't see any birds flying last... No, I saw... And then there were lights in the field. And then birds didn't go back.
Mm.
The lights
Seems like a very
ate
cool
the
experience.
birds.
Yep. Okay. Remy, why are we wasting our time in this small town when we could be in the capital with this? All of you. Can we leave?
Amy just looks up to audience and just minor illusions the image of a nest.
Yes, but he said he saw no birds, which means the nest was probably taken care of. Or we killed the birds that came from the nest.
Why should we assume that?
We've already dealt with this. We said they'd be
We dealt with 4 birds.
No, what I
That's
mean
not-
is we already said the guard were going to keep an eye on it. We'll come back if there are more. Can we the quest right now is completed. We can leave. Till this, we're allowed to leave. Can we leave? This is a drunk man who drank and he saw birds that flew around a peak. Alright? It's not... We don't need to go and spend like a full day traveling to this peak.
But the peak went up and down. It was in the cloud, then it wasn't.
Yes, sir. You're doing a great job. Keep talking. Anyway.
Oh. Rainy just, like, clicked a bit. Just, like... Okay, Raimi is going to do a thing. I'm using a lot of spell slots today. Raimi is going to minor illusion a cloud a little bit up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to use silent image. So that there is kind of like... He's decided a mountain, because he doesn't know what this actually looks like. And then he's going to move the mountain up and down. Through the cloud.
Wow! I've never seen a bird that can do that.
Okay, Remy. I don't know what this means. I don't know why we care that this mountain is going up and down in the cloud. You're gonna have to elaborate in some way.
It's like he's just positing a possibility. Points to the cloud. Makes like an X with his arms. But then
Okay.
points to the mountain and then moves it slightly up and down and nods his head.
Yeah, audience is rolling in intelligence on that. Okay.
George, your dog is loving this.
That's a 13 from audience.
Okay.
I don't know if that's enough.
He
Well,
probably understands parts of it, but not all of it.
well, probably that you should be focusing on the mountain part.
Mm-hmm.
But what the mountain part might mean exactly, that's a bit more vague.
Okay. I'll put it
That's
this
Jordan.
way.
You're in the
I don't know
room,
what
you're
George
hearing
is
this conversation. The drunk guy is not trying at all to be quiet. Oh, I think he's having problem with his camera.
Hmm.
Jorg is
he here?
baffled.
Jorg, we can't hear you if you're talking.
I think either his computer or his camera just died.
He is frozen. Alright, well, I guess while he's frozen, I'll turn to Remy. Because Jorg's not responding right now.
He's thinking.
Thank you. Turn to Remy and I'll be like, let me put it this way to you, Remy. Do you think this is important enough that we should go check out this peak? Or should we just leave? I trust you. I don't care about what Jorg or Toby say, but I trust you. You see, Jorg's gone.
His eye just rolled up and...
That Raimi holds up one finger.
Ah! Jorg is back!
Yeah, Skype makes my computer shut off sometimes.
Okay. So you see Jorg coming back to life. His eyes are rolling back in his socket.
So wait, Remy, is one finger a yes or a no? Or does that mean hold on?
It was like normally when you present a number of options, Raimi gives the number of the option.
Oh, so I said, so one was yes then.
One is like he thinks it's important.
Okay, well, if Remy thinks it's important, it's your lucky day, Jorg, because I guess I'm willing to go check out this peak if Remy thinks it's important.
Cool. Of course it's important.
Alright, I guess we should go tell Fisher we're going to go check out a random mountain.
As long as...
On the word of Mr. Drunk, I saw a UFO, dude.
Yeah. An intuition.
Okay, well...
Okay. Let's go, guys. Daylight's a wasting.
Have a good day. And... No, I'm not gonna say it. He says that while looking at Remy. And he goes back to drinking.
Alright. Do we leave the inn? Is everyone following us? Are we going back to the cart? Or did you guys have more
I
things
think
to do?
you guys, we ready to go? You wrangle them up, audience? We
Yeah,
heading out?
No. Apparently we're going to a peak now. Because this guy was talking about a peak in clouds. He was drunk, by the way, but I trust Remy, and Remy says it might be important that we go there. So now we're just going to a random mountain.
Do we know where the mountain is? Like which
Remy,
peak?
Did we get a sense of where the mountain was?
Because there are a lot of mountains here.
He obviously saw our fight, so he was looking out towards the mountains when he saw this. Because he saw the birds and the lights. So he was looking out. Which means it was the mountains behind us when we were traveling.
I mean, yeah, but there's like mountains. Like you look, I think it's south or west to.
Hold on, I have the map here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super
South.
on board with this either, Fisher. But I'm going off into. I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to let.
A good like 100 degrees of your vision is mountains.
Yeah, Remy, did we get any details on what peak we're actually going to?
I'm like even DM, even though I know he didn't like say anything, just like based on those details, could Raimi possibly guess which direction at the very least?
There is a clue in what I said that if you can actually show me that you understood it, yes, of course, there is a way to narrow down the possibilities.
All right.
It's all you, Remy. Our audience was not paying attention to clues. He wasn't even taking this guy that seriously. So.
Okay. Damn, could I roll history to see like where he was watching the goats?
History? What's your reasoning behind history?
Because it happened a few minutes ago.
Sure. History because it's +6. Sure. Go ahead. I would have said plain intelligence because it's 10 minutes ago, but technically it's history, so yeah, sure, why not?
Oh, this is going to be a real waste if it's wound up being nothing. I did roll the natural 20.
Okay. So
I'm going to be so mad if this is a waste.
thinking about everything that he said, and using a dice roll instead of underlining it yourself, yes.
Well, no, DM, the fact of the matter is that when you're focusing on certain details and can't precisely, as an individual with eyesight problems, write things as he goes, I have to rely on memory.
I know. He mentioned that while he was looking out, the peak, and that's because you got a natural 20, the peak was touching the clouds. Meaning that where this happens, it is one of the highest peak you can actually see from where you are. It is high enough to touch the clouds. And that would narrow down the search significantly.
It's not like we know how tall the mountains are around us, but
No.
anyway.
No, you don't know, but visually speaking, you can look out and you can see which peaks seem to be touching the cloud, as there are still clouds in the sky. It was raining for most of the night. So you have a feeling of, okay, there's a range of mountain there. It might be the one. They feel really close to the clouds. And probably the clouds are a little bit lower than usual here, meaning that you don't have to go 10 kilometers up to get in the clouds. 20 miles up. They're probably 2 or 3 miles up at most because of how close you are to the ocean, to this mountain range, and to how everything churns together. I'm not sure how to describe it otherwise. So you feel, okay, there's a mountain range there that might actually be exactly what we're looking for. There's another one, but it's really far off. It would be unlikely, but then again, it's a drunkard. He might have been looking in the wrong direction. But from a 180-degree angle, you managed to narrow it down to 2 5-degree angles.
Yeah. And we also know he saw our fight, so he was probably looking that way. So we can kind of look out from where our fight was.
Like I said,
Don't know where he
one
was,
is
though.
more probable than the other because it fits every single detail, but it's a drunkard. You can't be sure exactly where he was.
Well, he also said that like he saw it after he took a swig. So I almost want to wonder if maybe if maybe Raimi would just like field test that a bit and just see what happens if he did like take a swig motion and then see where his eyes would fall
Yeah, sure. Why not?
in imitation of a drunkard.
Yeah, you've seen enough drunkard in your life. You can mimic that pretty well. All right, all right. Well, you sit near one of the small stone wall that delimits the various field. And okay, this feels comfortable. Let's say that there is a jug right next to me, and turn around, look up, moving peak, look down. Hey, it changed direction. Okay. One of them is definitely more probable than the other one. The one that's more to the, or from your angle, it would be more to your left. And it also coincides. It's not a perfect match, but it's roughly in the same line as where you were during the night. Unless he was really drunk, and when he took a swig, he went, ugh. But you know, so it's sort of, you're 85% sure it's there, and 15% sure it's there.
Well, Raimi will hedge his bets on 85% and hope that 15% doesn't win. So he's going to point in the direction of most likely mountain range.
For you, audience, there is a moment of, oh, god damn it. Why did you have to point to the furthest one?
How far is it probably away? Can I estimate that?
I'd say you can. I was able to do this pretty quick when I was walking, so you've been doing this for your entire life. I'd say, yeah, you could probably estimate that.
Alright, how many hours we looking at? Travel.
To get to the mountain range, that would only be maybe 2 or 3 hours at most. To get to the highest peak, well, that's the big question. Is there a path to get there? If there is, you could be looking at most of the day of walking. If there is not, then you're missing some equipment, and it's definitely more than a day of climbing.
Okay, so let's see, a day, which would be, if we can get out there by today, we still have 2 days. We can get back in a day. All right, we can still make it back by my 3-day mark. It's gonna be a little bit tight.
What's in 3 days?
Money.
Oh, fair.
All right. I guess we can go check it out, but we have to be quick about it.
Raimi takes audience's hand, puts something in it, and closes it around it.
What is it?
It's a 300 gold diamond.
All right. I mean, that's pretty good persuasion.
We went with a passive 5 to a passive 15.
That's
No, what Raimi's trying to say is, if I die trying to climb that mountain, resurrect me with this.
I mean, I can't. Jord can.
Prepaid.
Prepaid resurrection.
Okay. All right. I will thank Remy, and then I will be like, "All right, let's go." Quickly.
Alright, well, quickly.
We're double timing this.
Tobiashi.
I want to get there before dark too.
Tobiashi hurries up. Jor, is there anything you want to say? You've been awful
thanks.
quiet.
This was important to me, so I'm glad we're actually gonna go see if there's more of those guys.
I'm
welcome.
hoping
That's why
there's
we're
a
doing it.
nest full of gold.
Yeah, I know it's not why you're doing it, but it's still important to me.
That might be why Fisher's
It can
doing
be a contributing reason to why we're doing it.
Okay.
It might be
I'll
why
take that.
Fisher's doing
It doesn't need to be a, you know. There could be contributing factors to things.
True. Yeah. It was strange that an old drunken man had something to say about it. I guess it makes sense.
I mean, yeah, see, because, like, if it was just the drunk dude, why would we believe a drunk dude?
True. Yeah.
But, you know. So it is at least partially because you want to do it.
Cool. That's good.
Alright.
Fisher, from inside of you, you hear Terranad go, "Wow, imagine. It was important to him. Imagine how little he speaks when it's not important."
Yeah, I made my points last time.
I know,
Not
but
that I can hear you. I'm just defending myself.
I know, but remember that Fisher is hearing those comments all the time, and Terranad is not exactly full of compliments for anyone in the group.
No.
But Pterodad speaks up, I like to think, more than is actually said.
Yeah,
It's just not always worth mentioning.
because I don't want to bog down the sessions. I take for granted.
Sir Pterodad said something condescending.
Yeah. So, because I've established this before, I feel like I don't need to establish it as much. Just a reminder from time to time that he's a bit of a dick. All right.
And imagine having to deal with that
All day long.
all the time.
Yeah, Fisher doesn't sleep either. So it's not like a third of the day you're out of it. He's just...
So,
like, does anything happen on our 3-hour journey? Or do people...
no, it's actually a pretty quiet ride all the way there. Although there is one question of, are you leaving the cart there? Or are you taking the cart all the way to the base of the mountain and leaving the cart alone at the base
I'd
of the
say we
mountain?
leave the cart here.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave the cart and, more importantly, Boomerang with the cart as we scale a mountain after things that tried to eat things.
Fair enough. Alright. I guess we can leave the cart here then.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you all go walking in the field. As you're leaving this village and going closer to the mountain, you can see everyone going about their business, leaving the temples, establishing this little market where everyone exchanges whatever they need to go through the day, and keep on making your way. It's a pretty flat field, so you can see pretty far. You don't notice anything that's gonna jump out at you, and after 3 hours of walk, it's confirmed nothing did actually jump out at you. You do get to the base of the mountain, and there you sort of have this moment of, Well, it's a path. It's not necessarily a good one. It's not necessarily one that's gonna take us all the way there. But it's a path.
All right.
There's something slightly eerie about this place. It's quiet, but not quiet as in something's gonna happen. Quiet as in something happened.
So I guess we should go.
Yeah, it's quiet because we already killed everything. And there's nothing here.
I
Or
guess we
everything else-
should
something
go
else killed
do our
everything.
best to go check it out.
All right. And
Four
with that
birds.
encouraging speech from audience, who feels like his arm is being twisted into doing this quest suggested by a pendant that you lost inside of a bar.
Which, by the way, we didn't fully clear that up. Does Raimi now have the pendant, or did he just find something that, for some reason, smelled like Tobiyashi?
Yes, the pendant was on the drunkard. So the pendant was most likely trying to attract Tobiyashi's attention toward the drunk person.
Raimi will hold on to it for now, just so Tobiyashi panics a little longer.
All right, Toby, we gotta go check out this thing. We can look for your pendant later.
All right, it always finds its way. So yeah, okay, sure. Has a mind of its own. All right. And this feels like an interesting moment to have our break, so you can get something to drink, to eat, empty enough room to get something to drink and to eat. And we're going to be back in 15 minutes, and we're going to accompany this with Thunderstorm. Alright, and so see you all back in 15 minutes. Bye. Hello and welcome back. Hope you had a pleasant break. I hope you had a pleasant trip at the toilet to empty your bowels and get more snack in. It's always fun. Now I'm making myself hungry. And oh yeah, we don't need. Well, actually, I'm not sure. Is it raining? No, it's not raining.
However, it is really windy.
Always. Always
Yeah, no.
windy in here.
Tornado season ended.
Well, that just means
Now
you
it's
don't
hurricane
have to.
season.
That just
Oh, sorry.
means you don't have to worry about gargantuan size air elemental.
We fought one of those in my other campaign. We fought the Elder Tempest. That was pretty fun.
You can
Apparently,
brag.
our druid casting control weather every day to make our ships in our fleet go faster. Possibly fucked with some elemental stuff.
What you mean? Air elemental got pissed at you playing with elements? No.
All right. What?
I know that there are a select number of spells in the game already that's like, hey, if you cast this every day in the same area for X amount of time, something happens. But I feel like more spells should be like that. It's like, if you keep making it rain here, it's like something's gonna happen.
Well, either that or add a spell made specifically to make something permanent. In previous edition, there was that. There was a spell that was called Permanency, and it was made to enchant things. You want an enchanted sword, you have to use the Permanency spell. You want to make sure that it always rains around the mountain, you have to use the Permanency spell on the mountain.
Oh yeah, I remember someone talking about that. I'm pretty sure that was very abusable.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a pain in the ass to balance.
Well, it had been balanced before, but now that they didn't use it, it's probably not balanced anymore with the way that the game is. So, alright. Hey, I just noticed Sam just gathered up all of his hair.
Whoa.
Yeah. I thought he'd cut it, but he didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got some hair now.
Yeah.
I need to get a haircut.
Welcome back. We were talking about your hair.
Yep. Our cat, my cats randomly decided to start fighting like on top of our TV, so I decided it was time to remove them from the room.
Well, at least it wasn't
Like, take that
Magma.
outside.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine two giant cat like this fighting in the same room as you.
Yeah.
It's not.
By the way, speaking of, I have been riding Magna this whole time. They have been so.
I am no longer asking. I am taking for granted that you are always riding Magna.
Well,
Audience
especially
refuses
into the
to walk in
especially into the mountainous region, because that's where
It's
She
her
is at her
field.
best.
Yeah.
she is at her best.
So the moment you start climbing up this mountain, you feel that there's a we're home. Yeah. The rock, the smell, the bird poo.
But it also smells like deer.
So how high up did we say this thing? It was like pretty high. So how long did we have to climb again till we got somewhat near this thing?
It's several hours because of the proximity to the ocean that sort of creates a cooler buffer where you are, and the fact that you're basically temperature where you are now in the Mistle Island chain would be comparable to the beginning of September.
I was just wondering because I was going to do the same thing I did last time we were in the mountains, where once we got to, I'd say about like 30 minutes to an hour away, I was probably going to start like scouting like a little bit ahead with
Okay.
Magna.
You think you have several hours of walk before you actually get to a place where cloud seems to be forming there. You think that it could be misleading in the sense that because you are in a place where the air is a bit colder, and because of the season, clouds are forming lower than usual. So there could be, simply by having a warmer day, a place where the clouds would have formed higher. But judging from where the clouds are right now, maybe 5 or 6 hours of travel. You'd be getting where you think you need to be at the end of the day, when the night falls everywhere.
Okay.
So, like you said, you start making rounds a few hours at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably just scout like a little bit ahead,
All right.
just because. So I'll roll a stealth and perception roll for you.
It's the only field where he can roll higher than Remy, so.
All Alright, we'll start with perception. That's 17 plus 5, so that's gonna be 22. And then stealth. Is gonna be 18. So 18 stealth and 22 perception.
Okay. I saw someone roll a 23. Who was that, and for what reason?
No, it's because it puts my two numbers together instead
Okay.
of that I roll with advantage.
Okay. Yeah, I see it now. Okay. So, you start going up the mountain. Okay. What about the rest of you? Tobiashi seems to be distracted. Jorg, Fisher, and Remy.
Audience, are we waiting for you or he's gone? I guess I've got a whole 50 feet of rope and some pittons.
That would be handy. I can make a bear totem so we get strength and make it easier to climb, maybe, but not really.
How long does that? That doesn't last super long, though, right? Can you move it?
I can move it.
I mean, Raimi looks over to Jorg, tilts his head,
I mean, yeah.
and just minor illusions a bird.
Well, I guess, yeah, I could summon a bunch of big birds. I forgot about that. Yeah, I summoned some, I can do that.
Oh, that makes things easier. I mean, yeah, we just fly up there.
Yeah.
We might get attacked while we're flying. But
True.
Actually,
guess what would
because actually remembered the most about these creatures. Raimi will look back over to Jorg. Minor illusions, the Paratons, and then minor illusions, a sun, and then a moon, and a question mark.
Oh, are they nocturnal?
I feel like they're not. Hold on, I'll just check to make sure.
How many of us need be on an aminal?
Theoretically, if they're large sized, it's up to the DM. But
at least one.
At least one, but you could have two, or if the animal is sturdy enough, maybe three. But obviously no more than four, because that, overblows the size of the token itself.
The question always with something flying is how much weight can it technically take?
Yeah. I could also summon giant wolf spiders, and we could just ride those. No, those are just medium. Never mind.
So, for your question about the peritons, what would be their living cycle? You'd guess it's a creature that probably lives more in the twilights, where it's easy to see the shadow, but not necessarily the bird itself, because of the shadow is misleading. In plain day, you'd have the reflex of looking up, but when the day is starting to end, light is not as good.
That makes sense.
As far as creatures, yes. Giant eagle.
Yeah, giant eagle. I think I can only summon 2 of them, but I could do 4 giant eagle. I could do 4 giant owls.
All right, so 160, 300.
Or I could do 4 giant or 8 giant lizards, which could climb really well, but not fly.
Does anyone remember by heart what's the
Strength score of birds.
No. I have that here. I'm thinking about the maximum weight allotment based on strength.
Multiply by 15.
15. All right.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Calculator.
What's the rule?
It's time 15 for maximum weight.
Oh.
As
like,
the
for example-
strength score, not just the modifier.
Yeah.
But for
So-
large creature, it's higher.
Oh yeah, I think it doubles
Yeah.
each time it goes up.
So
30.
basically, you'd have to wing it, but one giant bird would be able to take about 250 pounds and still be able to fly. Above 250 pounds, it would only be able to glide. Wouldn't be able to pick you up and take you away.
That's not gonna work.
We could stuff audience left. We could really use his dimensional storage, but then we wouldn't be holding anything.
I mean, yeah.
Shove thing inside the dimensional storage and then give the crystal to someone being carried by the bird.
What happens when we put the crystal in the dimensional storage? Does it have like an anti?
I think the crystal is like the zipper of the door.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you leave it
Something
inside,
like that,
you have a
but-
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if you get?
Yeah, because I, gear included, am around 500 pounds.
Well, you definitely need to be hidden inside of the dimensional
I
space.
was gonna say Fisher can just be the
Yeah,
dimensional storage.
he's the only one who can.
Oh yeah.
Because I am made of metal and stone and wood, and am therefore very heavy on my own.
Should we call for audience to come back?
I mean, he'll make his way back.
I'll be back. I'm like back every like 20 minutes.
Okay. And then
'Cause I'm,
everyone
like,
else
scouting.
could just ride a giant
Yeah.
owl.
Hey, he might have found a super easy way to climb, so
Hmm.
there's that.
So, how much does Toby actually weigh? Because you have to remember
Ooh.
he's actually there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Does it say in his notes or description, whereas mine's in my description?
Well,
There's characteristics.
he's a monk, so by nature he doesn't carry a lot.
Mhm. I've got like 100 pounds of stuff on me.
I mean, I assume he's probably like one.
I'd,
Yeah, it depends on how tall he is.
I'd probably give him something like 100 and no more than 160. I feel like for him it would be a bit much, especially since he
He's only
goes for.
carrying 23 pounds of stuff. Oh, it's because all of that is just magic items that don't have a listed weight. But still, he's only carrying.
Ooh, the giant eagle has a strength score of 16.
Yeah.
But then I could only get 2 of them.
Uh-huh. Could you could upcast spiritual or conjure animals for more animals, right?
Yes. I forgot to look at that.
I don't know how much it scales by.
If the giant
Orb.
if the giant eagle is eagle get 2, it probably means it's a challenge rating 1.
Yeah.
Two
Challenge rating 1.
So the level 4 upscale is
I don't think it has. It just says 5th.
Yeah.
There's no
it?
4th option.
Meaning that until you
At
are
higher
able
levels,
to cast at 5th level,
when
it's
you
not gonna
cast
scale out.
this spell using certain higher level slots. Oh, using certain higher level slots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Twice as many
it
at
bumps
5th,
up
but-
every other. Yeah, so I don't get any. I could use erupting earth and hope we land on top
Shoot
of
us
the
in the. Here's a question: when we're talking about flying on creatures that will be summoned and therefore could disappear, does anybody know Featherfall? Because I used to.
Used to.
Don't
I
anymore.
Used to.
We could all ride a giant constrictor snake. Just in a line.
I feel
I
like
don't-
you're making this
I don't think
so
snakes are
much...
good at climbing.
Yeah, they are. Have you seen them climb trees? They just like get in all
Maybe
the
like
crooks.
like a tree,
Riding
but
them might be tough.
like a mountain.
Yeah, it's like the same thing, but scaled up.
But like a tree has like
Wait.
branches, or like it
Well,
could
but
like
they-
coil around like the trunk or something.
Yeah, but it can coil like around like rocks and stuff to push its.
Audience,
Body up.
you made a good stealth roll. Unfortunately, as you're starting to come back from your first round of scouting, you start hearing your party talking a bit loud about riding constrictor snake and shooting people up the mountains and
Oh, good. I assume I haven't really found anything on my first pass.
No, but like you said, if you keep coming back every 20 minutes, that just mean that for the first half hour, no, you
Yeah.
didn't find anything. But you get the feeling that
guess
trying to
I'll probably-
figure something out.
Okay, I guess I'll come back. I'll be like, are you guys trying to figure out a way to more quickly climb the mountain?
I mean, yeah. Or did
Giant
you find
goats.
a good
I
path
mean, I've
up?
only been like 30 minutes up. There's a path for the next 30 minutes, but there's no there's nothing that's gonna there's no booster that's gonna boost us to the top suddenly. The path is fine for the next 30 minutes.
I mean, yeah. I'm fine with climbing. I don't know about everybody else.
I think I can do it. Or I'll summon wolves. Or I'll turn into a goat. Or something that can climb.
Just
Goats.
remember, there could potentially be some kind of fight at the top if we want to, use all our resources. But
Mm-hmm.
Most
I'm gonna
entertaining.
start. Let's just go.
I mean, it's not that bad. We're gonna get to the top within 3 hours. We'll begin there as night falls. It shouldn't be dark yet.
I'll summon 8 swarms of ravens to carry us.
Not sure it works
Okay.
like that, but
I think you guys seem to be having a good time. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna leave again.
Alright.
Do you guys need me for anything before
let's
I
start
leave?
trekking up.
No.
I think we're good.
No, we're having a perfectly fine time without you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will see you guys then.
you see Arunak looking in your direction for a moment. His eyes, his multiple eyes, seems to be looking at you in a way that says, "Please take me with you."
I'm not gonna take Onak. I don't think Magda wants a tree on her back.
He sighs.
Just take the acorn. You can plant it in the mountain.
No, we're not desummoning
We
him.
didn't run into this problem previously.
No, it's because he has the mind of the dungeon master and he sees a solution, but none of you seems to be seeing it.
Ogreneck? I mean, I see plenty of solutions. There seems to be plenty of ways that we could just
I
do
mean,
this
is
thing.
it like-
It's
There's
just,
literally, I'm just gonna point.
Are we
this out
staring
to
at cliff,
there
or are we just
multiple
hiking
ways
up
to
a
do
mountain?
things.
we're hiking up a mountain. There are no cliffs.
Okay, yeah. Then
Let's go hike.
There are moments
Yeah.
where it's pretty steep and it does take a little bit out of you, but generally speaking, a good athletic roll should cover most of the climb, unless you meet creatures, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, audience is gone again, so I'm not going to get out of the conversation because I'm no longer there.
I think we just start going for it. If we hit an obstacle, then we'll do something.
Okay. Whew, sorry. I haven't slept much in the last few days. Alright. So, you start talking to this again, about this again, as audience leaves. Orunak looks at all of you and eventually just looks at Remy and says, "Are they really not seeing the answer? It's like a 4-piece puzzle."
walking.
I don't know what the puzzle is. What's the issue? Why are we having issues climbing the mountain?
Are we having issues?
I don't think so. So what do we need? What do we need to solve?
The problem we came up with but didn't need to come up with.
All right. Well, that seems to be following how it is with this group. So make plan A and plan B and go with plan C. Okay.
I thought we were staring at like a cliff. So that's why I
No,
was...
you're staring at a pretty steep climb. But so far, it's not a cliff. You don't need equipment. A good stick is all you need to make sure that you do not slip and fall. That's why I said a good athletics roll should cover everything you need to get up that mountain. Except for
Shall we
audience
roll?
who's riding on a creature that's used to walking in mountainous region.
Ooh. That is probable. I'm going to use my lucky coin.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with the first one.
Uh-oh.
That's an 11 total.
Jeez,
11.
I
Louise.
rolled a 3 and then a 1.
I rolled
but
a
I get
4.
to pick.
And I got a 6.
Okay. Toby,
I'm gonna turn into a goat if I fall off.
Remy?
Now I don't want to roll.
We believe in you. Get that -2 modifier in there. Beat everybody else.
Oh, you might have jinxed it in my favor? With you with my -2, that's a 15.
Good
Hey.
luck. Well, apparently, Remy, Tobiyashi, you both have 15. No, actually, Tobiyashi has a +4. Oh, sorry. He has a 19. So Tobiyashi is actually pretty agile with this and just climbing things and figuring out where he can grab stuff without falling. And Jorg, he looks like a mountain goat. Well, he looks as good as a mountain goat. You have a spell that could turn him into mountain goat, but
Actually, why do I want to imagine Raimi trying to climb this part just like briefly goes from spot to spot with like a little flap of his arms, like just pretending
It's not helping,
that
but
he's
he
flying
believes
over.
it's helping.
Like chickens, you know, when they jump, they sort of doesn't not helping, but hey, yeah, sure, why not? And oddly enough, Arunak is doing better than Fisher and Jorg.
Wow. He's got root feet. He can like grab onto stuff better.
You know, he rolled a Arunak sidekick. Even with it's like Remy. Even with a -2, he still has 13.
How's the climb going for us? Me and Fisher.
Well, let's just say that audience, whenever he comes back, wonder how this group went to being the Time Knights. And being this odd parody climbing a mountain.
I'd like to see audience trying.
Yeah, he's just sitting on a cat. Cat's doing all the work.
Yeah.
A cat that is in
Speaking
his own terrain in the mountains. For you, audience, everything goes well. Magna just jumps up from stone to stone. It really feels like she knows what she's doing. As if she's been doing that ever since.
Audience wouldn't actually do that great. He would only have a 10. He also rolled a 3. Luckily, he's on Magna, so it doesn't matter.
Jordan's
He tried climbing on his own, then he's like, nope.
I just wanted to know.
Not feeling it today.
I just wanted to know what I
Didn't warm
would
up.
have got. You know, the calves are kind of tight.
Yeah.
Need to stretch those out.
Jorg'll turn into a giant goat because me and Fisher are falling behind.
So now you're making sure that just Fisher falls behind?
No, I'll let Fisher ride me.
Oh, jeez. You know that the goat is not that big,
And
huh?
It's a giant goat. It's 1/2 CR, which I get now.
How is a giant goat actually big?
It is large.
Yeah.
And it's a goat, so it's hopefully good at
Can
climbing.
I ride the goat?
Well, I think that's what he's offering you.
It's sure-footed, so it has advantage on stuff that would
Jeez.
Okay.
on saving throws
Let's.
and dex saving throws.
Well then,
Strength and dex saving throws.
you get to make a roll with advantage for your athletics roll now because you've just become a goat.
Okay, I started with a 4. Okay, cool. A 19 is much better.
Okay.
I rolled a 2,
I was
so
like,
actually
uh-oh,
plus
word.
0, I would have been
Yeah.
either a 2 or a 19.
You
so
were
I'll take a 19.
you were getting ready to get up, and all right, now that you're a goat, you can just look at the path. You realize where you should go, and then you're taken by surprise by Fisher, who sits on you just as you're about to start moving, and but you manage to find your footing again with that massive thing on your back.
Yeah, good thing we didn't do the birds.
Good lord, feels like he weighs a ton.
I
But
should have taken your backpack before I transformed, so it would just add to my.
Yeah, you probably should have.
oh, that's an interesting question.
Now you gotta carry it.
If you would have taken your backpack, where would the Victory have gone?
Ooh, just I have worms now.
You're a goat with gutworm. So appetizing. So, now that you have a goat, and the monk, and the rogue, and a tree, everyone seems to be going up the mountain pretty well. Now it's Ovudak who looks like he's the one who's having the most trouble climbing, but even though he's not that bad. You do, Remy, hear him say at one point, well, if I could turn into an animal, I would, but, you know, I'm just a tree. Alright, so, after the first hour, everyone seems to have found a way to get up this mountain without falling to your death or injuring yourself severely. As I've stated, it's not actually an incredibly steep climb, but it's taking a bit out of you. You do feel a little tired as time is moving on. Sorry. Audience, after your 5th or 6th passage, it's been maybe 2 hours. Could you make another stealth and perception roll, please?
Yes, I can. Do perception first again. That's a 21 on perception. And a 23 on stealth.
Wow, okay. You have a little moment of, I was gonna say feeling the hair going up your neck, but you're dragonborn, you don't have hair there. Scales? I don't know. You have this creepy feeling of something happening nearby, something watching you, but with a pretty good perception and a good stealth, you actually have the instinct to look up. And for a brief moment, you see a small flock of periton just flying rapidly in another direction. You get the feeling that you saw them and they didn't see you, and it was a matter of half a second and you would have missed them.
How big? By the small flock, how many? Like as many as we... What's a small flock considered?
With birds that large, I'd say probably 5 or 6.
Okay, so about the same amount that we fought before.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were flying pretty fast. Maybe implying that they're not flying towards something, but away from something.
Okay. I'll keep as I continue upward, I will kind of keep my eyes on the sky to see if I can see anything that might be following them.
Okay.
Or I'll make sure to continue to look up. Well, yeah. Check above me.
You look above and you keep watch for a while. There's this odd moment, maybe another 20 minutes later, where you don't know why exactly, but you look behind and toward where the village is. And right now you're not seeing any clouds around. And maybe that's why you decided to look down, because you're missing some sort of landmark to know if you're getting close or not. But just as you're watching down toward the village, you have this feeling of landscape changed. You look down and then up, and that's where you notice that landscape seemed to have changed. There's a... Yeah, there seemed to be the head of a mountain missing. quite literally the head of a mountain missing.
All right. Well, what I rolled to see if I knew anything about this: history, insight, anything, religion.
Sure. I'd allow you to make history roll.
Okay. It's not gonna be good. It's intelligent, so it won't matter. But I'll make it.
Okay.
13. Average. I mean, actually, technically that's above average for an intelligence roll for me.
Yeah. And not a lot comes to your mind. Except you feel like something someone mentioned. When you were underwater.
Okay. Well, I will. Next time I get back to the party, I'll tell them about what I saw. I will come back to the party. Actually, I'll just do it in my. I'll come back to the party after that because it's been about 20, and I'll be like, we're kind of getting close, and I'll be like, so I have a couple bits of news. One is I saw 5 more Perytons, but I don't think we're gonna have to worry about them because they seem to be fleeing something, which is kind of in some ways more worrying. And then when I looked down at the village, I don't know if any of you know anything about it, it kind of seemed to look like the entire landscape changed. Like the entire head of the mountain was just gone. So I would be careful because I'm starting to wonder what we're actually getting ourselves into right now.
Can we look and see if we see the same thing?
Sure, you can make a perception roll. Start looking around.
Nah. That's sub 9 even with Pterodactyl help.
You're not sure where to
21.
look.
Audience, did you start drinking?
Remy, I didn't hear. I just heard 1. I know you can't have rolled 1.
It's 21.
Okay. Did Jorg roll?
Oh,
Even as a goat?
yeah.
Well, you keep your wisdom even as a goat, so.
Ooh. I got 22.
Okay. Well, apparently, Jorg and Remy are the only ones who actually look around and also have a feeling, hey, no, that's actually not a bad comment that the audience has just made. Didn't there used to be sort of a small series of peak over there? Large ones?
And the old man was talking about the clouds. Was he talking about them? He was talking about them just touching the peaks, right?
Yeah. And then the image he gets after that one, the clouds are no longer touching the peaks.
Raimi would reiterate what he did earlier, but the player doesn't want to use spell slots again.
So he's using a minor illusion to minor illusion himself, illusioning this.
It's the only way he can do it. At least if I don't want to use a spell slot again.
It gives the effect of a television when you're looking at the camera looking at you.
So, what? I mean, what? What are the chances there's just like the mountaintop was like a big illusion and not actually something huge moving? Both seem like insane options.
My guess is it's not something huge. I would think that an illusion would be more likely, because if there was actually something as big as a mountain moving, I think that there would be...
We would feel it.
Yeah.
We would feel it. And there would also have been some, probably at least somewhat more news of it, at least at the garden, with some of the higher level adventurers probably knowing what that was.
Mhm.
Now, an illusion, which, especially in a remote area like this, which really I don't think anyone has checked out as much, could definitely be an option.
But then Raimi is going to tilt his head, minor illusion, a magic wand, and then minor illusion, a question mark.
Magic stuff.
Raimi's going to minor illusion like a person. He's going to minor illusion
A
blob.
wizard did it.
Yeah, Raimi nods.
Nag just go, ooh. I think he wants to know what would have made an illusion like this.
I assume some big wizard.
I assume,
Or not-
probably
not
a
big.
powerful
Big.
spellcaster. Maybe we found a secret base of the Hunter cult. That would be cool.
Ooh.
I mean, we might die, but it would
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be cool, but like,
Uh-huh.
unless
Good
they're just
information.
only focused on illusions and didn't really lean into anything else, that level of magic is
Yeah.
definitely kind of spooky.
All right. I think we should keep going, but I think we should all be very careful and potentially... You know what? Let me check something real quick. I'm going to pull out my orb. What color is it?
In the mountain like this, it's starting to shift a little bit toward yellow.
Yeah. We should be ready to potentially... I hate that I'm saying this, but flee or teleport out if we think that it's something far above our level.
Do
We're
we
still...
want to call
green.
the garden and tell them a mountain moved?
Yeah, we should probably let them know what's going on before we go any further.
I mean, I don't really want to.
Maybe they have some information that they've been... Maybe they have
Yeah.
something. Another adventurer maybe checked out this area. I don't know. Okay. I'll call Syrah on the orb.
As always, she answers, "Hello, this is Sierra."
Hello, this is audience in the party. We decided to go check out this peak nearby because we got some potential information that there may be a nest of the Pelotons. I forgot their name.
Baritons.
Thank you.
Baritons.
I know it wasn't Pelotons, but I was
Pelicans.
Baritons.
They're just big
The
pelicans.
pelicans. Yeah, we wanted to go check out the nest of pelicans. Baritons. I in fact saw 5 flying away, but they seem to be flying away from something, and then the entire landscape has changed when we saw the perception. Like, we saw an entire head of the mountain disappear. So either there's a giant creature here, which we don't think is likely because we haven't felt movement, or there may be a massive illusion covering this mountain. We just want to let you know we're investigating, but if you have any information, it would be helpful, but we're also unsure exactly of what might be here. So we're letting you know in case, we all die in the next 10 minutes and aren't able to report.
Very well. That is very interesting. I would probably only mention a third possibility. It's been known that dragon hunts peritons.
Oh, he shouldn't have told me that. Now I'm excited.
Well, just keep in mind, not all dragons are kind to people.
Yes.
Yeah, they're bad gods, right, audience?
Yes. Audience is God. Sierra just screwed the rest of you. Now there's no way.
Uh-oh.
Well, thank you for the information, Sarah. We'll be sure to investigate.
Well, no.
These the mountains the silver dragon's supposed to be in?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Unless they are.
That was
I
close
was
to the
told
hot
where they
mountain.
were. If they were, I would probably have, but I didn't know. I don't think they were.
Well, for you, audience, since you've took the time to get to know a bit more about the dragons that might live in this island chain, you know that on the southern side of this mountain, so few weeks of travel in the mountain, there might be a red dragon making its nest. But it's several weeks of travel from where you're supposed to be.
Okay. I feel like the nearest dragon to where we are is on the southern side of this mountain range, where there may be a few weeks of travel away. There may be a potential red dragon, but which my god did warn me can oftentimes be hostile, and are not always considered to be at least very careful.
Those are the ones
around
without.
them.
They
To be
always
very
have like
careful.
the.
My god warned me that they are not always friendly to mortals, and to be very careful if encountering one of them.
Those ones always have like the spooky, not spooky, but the intimidating names. Or
Everything about a red dragon is meant to strike fear. They like
the
it,
conqueror, or
and they make sure that people feel fear with them. They are supremely
that makes-
confident in their superiority.
However, my god also did mention that there were actually some of the dragons that would actually probably be more receptive to me worshipping them, and may in fact actually enjoy that. But so yes, approach them with caution.
But they might get off on it.
Alright.
If I ever ran into one. But yes, I think we should be very careful if it is a dragon. But I do want to... Hopefully it's just an illusion.
Alright.
I will not blame you. I will say this. I will not blame you if there is a red dragon and you guys decide to teleport out. I will not judge you too harshly.
You're not you wouldn't teleport out with us.
No, I would. I'm part of the group, but I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't be.
I thought you were
Like, you
implying
guys
that,
can
like-
leave me behind.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
judge you
be.
if you guys
I wouldn't
teleport
be
out.
super. I would
We'll
not
see
be
what-
super mad at you because I do understand that power, especially if hostile towards us, could pretty much instantly wipe us out. I would not blame you guys trying to protect your lives.
Alright. Well, in that case, off we go
Oh.
to possibly get burned to death by a big angry lizard.
I guess so. So, I will keep my role. I mean, I will keep. No, you know what? I'm not gonna scout ahead. I'll stay like a little ahead of the party, but I'm gonna stay in sight of them, so that.
Presenting
In case they're-
yourself as the leader of the group. The one in front.
No, I'm still stealth,
Okay.
but I'm just not like. I'm not leaving because it could still be an illusion. I'm just not like going like 20 minutes ahead. I'm more just like. I'm like a little ahead, but I'm staying within eyesight. at least where I can like watch the party in case I see like Jorg, because he looks kind of like a large sheet just suddenly grabbed by like massive talons of a dragon and float.
With Fisher on him. So
Oh yeah.
throughout this entire conversation, Jorg's contribution is
Bah.
Oh.
Good
Notes
idea,
of
George.
fear, notes of fear in the goat's voice.
when you start mentioning dragon, you see a poop nugget just. All right. So,
Do you think druids sometimes transform into animals just so they don't have to take off their clothes when they go to the bathroom?
No, it's an interesting question.
who knows? It's a
The
secret.
mysteries of the universe.
It's like their
More
language.
importantly,
They
if-
keep it secret.
More importantly, if they transform into birds and then poop on your cart, does the poop stay there when they transform back?
Interesting.
I'd say yes. I thought you were gonna ask if are they responsible. Yes.
All right.
They keep their mental scores.
So-
If they are constipated and turn into a bear, does the bigger butthole help?
depends on when during the year you are. So,
I don't
With-
think we need to
with-
really dive into this right now.
yeah, with this very interesting image, the group keeps moving forward. Trying to stay perceptive and not draw too much attention, just in case it is a red dragon. So, still perception, audience?
Oh, you want me to roll again?
Well, you've been distracted for a few minutes.
Yeah, no. I know, that's fine. I will. Just, I was like, okay.
I'm
Well, that's a nat 20 for 25.
He's like dragons. Dragons.
yeah.
Oh, I'm very perceptive. That is as perceptive as this audience could be right there. I cannot be more perceptive than I am right now.
You see everything. You
Maybe
walk-
staring at you hard again.
No. As audience moves heroically in front of everyone, only Remy can see through the stealth roll that audience has made. Audience, you can feel the gaze of Remy burning a hole in your back.
My eyes pierce the heavens and the earth. No. I did not get true sight.
Just wait.
You walk and... Oh, I wish I'd had time to finalize this, but... You keep walking and eventually you start noticing there is a bit of an odd pattern around you. It feels like everything... There is a bit of a depression in the mountain where you're walking. A lot of it has been tapped down. But there's still a lot of debris everywhere, bigger rocks. But the field is getting larger and larger, accommodating for either a large group of things or a very large thing moving. Or you're nearing the entrance of a hidden base. But any of those elements could actually be it.
Alright.
But as you're slowly moving, slowly creeping up forward, you find yourself in what looks like a miniature valley inside of the mountain. To your to your right, you see a sharp drop that goes from higher of where you are to where you are. There's a small mount of dirt and stone that's right in front of you, and a bit further to your slightly to your left, you see another sharp drop that ends where on the level you are. A lot of stones on the floor. Do you keep moving forward?
I will.
Okay. What about everyone else?
Yeah. Jorg
Yeah.
does have to go to bed pretty soon,
Yeah.
but Jorg will keep going forward.
I am looking at the time for every
Okay,
single
cool.
minute right now.
Yep, Jorg will go forward.
Okay.
Onward, steed.
Giddy up, Penny!
I am gonna motion to you guys that you guys might want to potentially roll a stealth roll if you guys feel
Ooh.
like it.
Jorg will roll stealth for him and Fisher.
Fisher tries to do what copy audience and disappear into the fluff of the giant goat's back.
Jorg rolls a nat 1.
Oh, jeez!
It's not working.
George becomes more visible than he was.
Actually, that probably makes perfect sense, though. Just like digging himself into the fur, making the fur stand out even more.
Yeah, Jorg.
Audience is Fisher or Jorg is literally a giant goat right now trying to stealth.
Audience is gonna accept that Jorg, while may not be stealth, will potentially at least be the bait for anything. Maybe allow the rest of us to get a sneak attack since they
Jorg,
might not notice us.
You didn't expect your current curse to mix in with your creature, but you start seeing huge puff of fur detaching from you as if it was pollen. Because you're still at the end of your curse of speaking out pollen spec, but now it's the fur of on your goat that is slowly detaching itself, giving the impression of a pollen flakes the size of apples floating in the air. Fisher trying to hide himself in there and realizing there's less and less and less. Oh, damn. You're provoking this. Okay.
I'm not trying.
And after a moment, Jorg looked like those dogs that have been shaved all nearly to their stomach, but everything else is still there. They still have thick feet, thick legs full of fur, their head, but their body is completely shaved.
Oh no.
Sorry. I'm doing my best.
And Randy was smart enough to stay away from that as he rolls a 25.
All right. Yeah, definitely. You're using this as distraction. Yeah, that's easy enough to do. So
Maybe it fully understands the concept of a fall guy.
after a minute, there's a circle of nothing around Jord moving. Are you all right? Feels like you're about to fall.
I was sitting on my ball weird.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I sit it on a ball.
And as you're arriving, and this. Okay, well that's nice. That's fun.
What about that
I'm just going to keep
ergonomics?
quiet and keep my comments to myself.
Tobiashi also did a pretty good roll, and oddly enough, Alwinac has a better stealth roll than Jorg and Fisher together. So
That's not surprising.
he just
He's
moves
a tree.
away.
You can just stop, and then it's just a tree. It's just red light, green light.
So, as you're arriving, you see this little dirt mound at the center of it. Audience, do you try to move around it, over it? It's not impossible to make. It's just a little bit high. Maybe
Probably around it, because I wouldn't want to expose myself.
okay. So, as you're looking left and right, you realize that left there's a large rock that's sort of preventing you from going around, so you sort of have to go right.
Okay, I guess I'll go right then.
So you start moving off, and everyone following you relatively close. You turn around that mound, and you'll have to look at the stream, but this is what you see. And the structure at the end of it, the hole, you can fit audience on his mount in it. It should be there in a moment.
Holy crap.
Oh, like, okay. So there's like a large rock formation.
The large rock formation at the end, you can fit audience and his mount in the hole.
Okay.
So it is pretty large.
Okay.
And just as you look at this impressive little structure, right before, you thought that it was just a stone, sort of natural stone wall that was just beside it, but then you see it move. And you realize, oh shit, it's a huge paw giving shape to that stone. That's when your reflex is to look slightly up, and you realize that what you thought were a series of very jagged peak right behind it is actually the spine of a huge creature.
We found the Tarrasque, guys.
It is a creature of gargantuan size. Its skin looks like a bit of that of a lizard, but it's all stone. His head has a little bit of a lizard draconic feeling to it, but it definitely isn't any dragon you've ever encountered, if it is. And it doesn't seem to have wings. But his back does have this long spine, and every single spine is protruding very high, very close. It goes all the way to the back and on his tail. And like I said, it is a gargantuan creature.
I guess I'll roll a nature roll to see if I know what this is. Or if I've heard of it before. I do not know anything about it. That's a 5.
I think Fisher is calling the garden.
Audience might be slowly backing away. Audience might be like, nope.
I see Fisher more just like tapping the orb, like.
Come on.
Come on, get out!
Audience is pulling out his orb to potentially teleport. He's like, yeah, we're gonna back away from this one because it might not be able to see me, but it definitely sees the giant goat. I was like, and back away. You're not here.
Just as you're seeing this and you're slowly backing away, you see his head slowly turn toward Jorg. And you can notice in his mouth the stone around it that forms a scale just moves slightly up a little bit, giving a very huge and slightly worrying grin as he's looking at Jorg.
Jorg, change form. Get out, let's go.
Jorg, don't be something so tasty.
Jorg, look less appealing.
Oh, I'll do that.
Actually, to be fair, he could not possibly look any more less appealing right now. He basically looks like a diseased, sick goat right now.
Yeah, that's true. Like a moldy goat.
A molting goat.
Audience is potentially trying to hide behind the nearest rock formation of like, I need more information before I try and engage this thing. Audience is rolling the quick hide ability.
Yeah, can I call the garden or are we done? Or is this the cliffhanger?
Panic.
It's good. Today's stream is going to end here as Jorg needs to go to sleep, There's potentially a fight, so it would be nice if Tobiashi is there, if it goes to that.
I don't think there's going to be a fight. I think there's going to be a die or try and run away.
There might be a initiative rolled to call it a fight.
I'm not fighting a lizard that's like the size of peaks made of stone.
So now you sort of get a feeling as everything is racing through your mind. Ah, so that's what's scaring the Peritons.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a red dragon, but it might not be much better.
All right, so as we end today's episode on this very intriguing site, creeping up on the group. Apparently, you just interrupted it as it was shaping the mountain.
Yeah, just, normal hobby things.
Yeah.
Normal stuff.
Everyone does this in their free time. It's normal.
Just like playing in the sand pit.
Yeah.
Yep. Just me. Core, I found another giant creature for you. Core.
Can you get here now?
RSVP. Quick.
I'll owe you a favor for the rest of my life.
Alright, I'll be there. Just give me 1 minute.
Nope, that's too long.
Alright, well, we'll see how the party decides to react to all of this. Hopefully not die before we get there. So, as always, thank you for having been there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for understanding our poor players who might have made a terrible mistake. Or maybe not. Maybe everything will turn out perfectly. Maybe there was a reason why I kept insisting that it could be a good idea from time to time to use the orb, even if it's red. Or maybe I'm just messing with them.
Time Nights.
Or maybe I'm just
Going on
messing with
another
them.
adventure.
And it's actually a pretty doable fight.
We teleport to the day after the tournament.
Oh, I turned it.
So, thank you for being there. Thank you for watching. And as always, I forgot to say see you next Wednesday. So, see you next Wednesday or Friday if you are watching this on Friday. And if you're watching this on Friday, stay a few moments. I try to raid people that are actually there, and we've been at least trying to raid my channel, Nucrium, who also plays Dungeons and Dragons just as we're finishing. So who knows, if they're playing right now, we might try and raid them. But that's if you're watching this on Friday. For Wednesday, well, sorry, the stream is ending in a few moments, and computer doesn't like it when I turn the window for the stream while I'm broadcasting. So, as I was saying, thank you for being there. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can always support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, subscribing on Twitch, and if you can't do any of those, you can help us simply by spreading the word of this channel. It is very much appreciated, and this one literally costs you nothing in any way, well, except a few minutes. So, as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Jenny.
Peace.